And if Vero comes in, that would be great. She'll just have to catch up and watch the recording later. Before I jump into our language arts stuff, I want to make sure that you guys are all caught up on what you're supposed to be doing for your Colorado history assignments. This Thursday, the 11th, so April 11th, you're going to be presenting your Colorado history PowerPoint. So I'm going to go to the chapter and make sure that there are no surprises. Okay, so let's see here. On Thursday, you're going to be showing your individual PowerPoint, and here's what the slides need to include. So this is listed in week 29 and in week 30 of your assignments, so you can find it in both. And I just want you to make sure that you know exactly what's expected of you so that you come prepared and ready to share on Thursday. So slide number 1, again, should include the title of your presentation and your name. Slides 2 through 11 should be what you learned as you read each of the subtopics in that last chapter, chapter 8. You're going to use your notes, and you're going to create one slide per subtopic. Okay. Again, choose 2 to 4 major things that you have already that you've learned, but I do not want you, this is like the one time in the world, I do not want you to type a complete paragraph on your slides. I want bullet points with just important points. Okay, give me a happy face or a thumbs up into the chat if so far you're with me. Okay, good. All
and
right.
I have 3 more slides to do.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so you are already like
10, 11, and 12.
you're blazing along then. That's great. And then on slides 2 through 11, I want to make sure that you know that you can add pictures that you can find off the internet. You can add, illustrations that you have drawn, and you can upload them in. You can use different, backgrounds that the computer gives you a choice to choose from. Any of the colors or fonts, that's, fine by me. Just make it your own. And then on that last slide, I want you to give me what you found the most important about the entire Colorado history unit. Okay, so the most interesting thing to you, and like I've said before, it could be in chapter 1, it could be in chapter 4, it doesn't matter, but this is an individual opinion, kind of. And then you still have to upload it into the Dropbox, but then also be prepared to share it. Okay, so before I go on, any questions about your Colorado history final project? No? Okay. All right, well, good. So that, I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page there. But let's switch gears a little bit. And sorry, my computer's going slow there. All right, here we are. We are going to start a new little unit that's going to take us most of April and part of May to finish, and it's on folklore. Folklore is a really awesome genre of literature that includes lots of different types of stories. Folklore includes folk tales, myths, fairy tales, fables, and tall tales. So you guys have a little bit less Little Lincoln work to do so that you can have time to do the assignments for your virtual classrooms on this unit. Although these assignments, I will tell you, you can see there's 3 of them over here. I will tell you that they're not really all that time consuming. But either way, I still have cut out some of your Little Lincoln work. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to go through the different types with you. I'm going to show you what your first assignment is. And then I'm going to do assignment 1 with you using my own example. Sorry. Sorry about that. I am not sick. I just have terrible allergies. Sorry. Okay, first type of story that you're going to be exposed to are folk tales. Folk tales are old stories um, that were told orally. This was a lot of times before people could read or write back in the old days, and so all stories were told by mouth. And so they often explain why things are the way they are. So, for instance, back in the old days, people didn't, have scientific answers for for the reason why things are the way they are. So, for instance, maybe they didn't know why birds fly south in the winter. So they would come up with a story and it would explain why birds fly south. Now, obviously, scientifically, we know why they fly south. It's because the weather changes and all those kind of things. But back in the old days, people would make up stories to explain it. Okay, so that's a folk tale. A myth. I know you guys have been working a lot with myths lately. In Little Lincoln, think of all of those Greek mythology myths that you read about. Oftentimes they involve some kind of hero or some kind of supernatural being, something that has extra human powers. Okay. Hey Jaden, you could go ahead and turn off your webcam for today. Fairy tale. A fairy tale is pretty easy. You guys have been exposed to these from the time you were little kids. Walt Disney obviously comes up with quite a few fairy tales, things like Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella and Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. I did not mean to click on that. Sorry. A fairy tale has some kind of fantasy character. A lot of times, a fairy tale will have like a fairy or a goblin or a dwarf or a mermaid. Pretty easy stuff that you guys, I keep clicking on those, sorry, that you guys have seen for all of your life. And as you can see, if you want to know more about what a troll is, you can click on it and it will take you to what a troll is in Wikipedia. All right. A fable is a fictional story that has some kind of animal or a creature or a plant that they give a human quality to. So that animal or creature will be able to talk like a human or do some kind of human quality. The difference between a fable and some of these other types of stories is that it teaches a moral lesson. So you actually learn some kind of lesson from a fable. And a tall tale, you guys have heard a lot of tall tales growing up as kids. Things like Johnny Appleseed and Paul Bunyan, um, and the one that I'm going to show you in a couple minutes, Pecos Bill. They have unbelievable elements and they have great exaggerations. So things that are greatly exaggerated from what could actually happen in real life. Okay, give me a thumbs up or a happy face in the chat if you're with me so far. We've just gone through the different types. Okay, good. Awesome, Tyler. Good, Jaden.
And I have a question.
Okay.
Here's also an example of the thing that where people give things human characteristic. Rocks, the rock sits there all day and night.
Yeah, that's right. That's part of figurative language as well. When we give a human quality to something that is not human, it's called personification. So a fable often uses personification to give a human quality to something that's not human. That's right. Perfect. Okay. So, what I'd like to do next is show you, well, here are all the different examples that I've come up with, and I want to show you which one of these you've been assigned to for assignment number 1. So, I'm going to click right here on group assignments, and we're going to find our names. Okay. So, for our very first assignment, Jaden and Tyler and Vero And let's see. That's it for this group. You've been assigned to Paul Bunyan. Okay? And I'm going to go over assignment 1 in just a minute. Kendall, you've been assigned to the rooster and the pearl. So that's right here. Will has been assigned to Johnny Appleseed. And anybody else with us? And Corbin has been assigned, he's 4th grade, he has been assigned to the Bear Prince right here. So now you're probably asking yourself, what am I supposed to do? Well, let's look. Okay, so I'm going to go through this assignment with you, and then we're going to do the assignment using Pecos Bill so that you know exactly what I expect. So this assignment is going to be due next Monday, same time, during your virtual classroom. Assignment number 1 is a group assignment. And I'll just tell you, you don't need to worry about them yet, but assignment number 2 and 3 are going to be individual projects, but we're not there yet. So, okay. Step 1 is super easy. Step 1 is to read the folktale, fable, legend, tall tale, or fairy tale that you have been assigned to. So there again, I'll just refresh your memory of what one you've been assigned to. Okay? Assignment 1, step 1, easy. Step 2, you're going to complete the sequence chart as a group. I have shared the sequence chart with you in your email. So if you are part of this Paul Bunyan group, in your email, you have an email that says Paul Bunyan sequence chart. Okay? And I'm going to show you how to complete it in just a minute. Your third step is really fun. You get to make a visual representation of your story. So you're going to do a Wordle. You can click right here and it will take you straight to Wordle. And you're going to find some kind of image off the internet, or maybe you draw a picture. Okay? All right, so now that I've gone through the steps, I want to do the steps with you, just so you know exactly what you're going to do. All right, here we are. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. You're ready for me to show you how to do assignment 1. You don't have any questions. You're good to go. Okay, Tyler's good. Kendall's good. Jaden, are you good? Yes, okay. All right, so our first step, if you remember, our first step was simply to read the tall tale. Pretty easy stuff. And or the tall tale or fable or whatever it is you've been assigned to. What you're going to notice is a lot of times these stories use kind of different language. They use the language from the time period and the place in which they were written. So they're going to sound a little different. And this one, Pecos Bill, was written kind of in the Old West. So you're going to get a sense for that as I read it. All right, here we go. Tall Tale, Pecos Bill. Now everyone in the West knows that Pecos Bill could ride anything. No bronco could throw him, no sir. Fact is, I only heard of Bill getting throwed once in his whole career as a cowboy. Yep, it was the time he was up in Kansas way and decided to ride him a tornado. Now, Bill wasn't going to ride just any tornado. No, ma'am. He waited for the biggest gosh darn tornado you ever saw. It was turning the sky black and green and roaring so loud it woke up the farmers away over in China. Well, Bill just grabbed that there tornado, pushed it to the ground, and jumped on its back. The tornado whipped and whirled and side-winded and generally cussed its bad luck all the way down to Texas. It tied the river into knots, flattened all the forests so bad that they had to rename one place the Staked Plains. But Bill just rode along all calm-like, giving an occasional jab with his spurs. Finally, that there tornado decided it wasn't going to get that cowboy off its back no how. So it headed west to California and just rained itself out. made so much water it washed out the Grand Canyon. That there tornado down that tornado was down to practically nothing when Bill finally fell off. He hit the ground so hard it sank below sea level. Folks call that spot Death Valley. Anyway, that's how the rodeo got started, though most cowboys stick to broncos these days. All right. What did you notice about this tall tale? What were some of the things you noticed? Go ahead, Tyler.
Ride a tornado, and that's probably not how the that's probably not how Grand Canyon. That's probably not how Grand Canyons were created.
That's right. He noticed that this tall tale is explaining things like how the Grand Canyon came about, how Death Valley came about, how this place down in Texas called the Staked Plains was made. And that's just made up stuff. Obviously, scientifically, we know that Pecos Bill did not ride a tornado and make the Staked Plains. And this tornado did not carve out the Grand Canyon, and hitting the ground did not cause the place called Death Valley. So, very good. He noticed that it explained parts of life that maybe back in the old days people had no explanation for. What else did you notice?
Me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I noticed that the tornado was given personification.
Yeah, the tornado had personification. It was acting like a person. It was twisting and turning and whipping and whirling, and it was cussing like a human being would do. Good. And it gave the tornado, it kind of gave the tornado emotion, like it was really angry. hmm Also, like I said at the very beginning, you should have noticed that this language was characteristic of the time and place in which it was written. So I was kind of trying to give you my best Texas accent, which was terrible, but you could tell that it was written kind of with that accent and that slang. All right. So let's go back to our assignment. We have done step one. We have read the story to which we've been assigned. Okay, step two says complete the sequence chart. So we're going to do that together. Okay. So in your email, you have a sequence chart, and all of you as a group are going to complete it together. So, first, what was the very first thing that happened in our story? Go ahead, Tyler.
He rode a tornado.
Yeah, he decided that he would ride a tornado. So we'll say first, Pecos Bill, the character, um, was a great cowboy who could ride anything. And then I'll put what Tyler said. He decided he wanted to ride the biggest tornado there ever was. Okay. So that was first. What came next? Let's hear from somebody else. Kendall, what came next in the story?
He pushed it to the ground and jumped on its back.
That's right. Okay, so he found the biggest tornado and jumped on it. And he was riding it all the way down to Texas. I'm going to add that detail. Now, there's a few more details about what went on the way to Texas. What happened on the way to Texas? Go ahead, Tyler.
It destroyed all the trees and made the plains there.
Yeah, it destroyed all the trees, tied the river into knots, and made this place called the
Made the
Staked
plains.
Plains. So I'm going to add that. Destroyed everything in its, oops, going too fast, path, and made the Staked Plains of Texas. Oops. There we go. All right. So after it was in Texas, what came next? Let's hear from Jaden. What came next, Jaden?
Um,
I've kind of have it highlighted.
the tornado decided it wasn't going getting this cowboy off its
Okay.
back.
Yeah. So the tornado decided to head to, where did it decide to go to after Texas? Go ahead, Tyler.
California.
Good. California, because because he couldn't, or it, sorry, couldn't get Pecos Bill off its back. Good. What did the tornado create on its way to California? Kendall.
Death Valley. I mean the Grand Canyon.
That's right, the Grand Canyon and the Death Valley. Okay, so the tornado, I'll just say it carved the Grand Canyon and made Death Valley once Pecos Bill finally fell off. Good. Then, to end the story, how did we end the story? Go ahead, Tyler.
When when he finally fell off, the tornado was really small and almost gone.
That's right, yeah. And then at the very end, though, it explained how something got started. So how the rodeo got started, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's how the rodeo started. Rodeo. Yeah.
Got started. And then we could even say most cowboys ride Broncos today, not tornadoes. Okay. So as a
Dang,
group, this is what you guys are going to be doing. You're going to be adding details as a group. And let's just say that, maybe Jaden came up with one detail. Well, it's fine. You can still add to it. Notice how, most of these categories have at least two things that happened. Then here is the fun part. You get to write a one paragraph summary. You need to have a topic sentence, details, and where are you going to find your details? Everything that you just wrote up here are your details. There they are. And then one conclusion sentence. So as a group, you guys are going to work on this one collaborative paragraph together. And it'll be interesting to see what you guys come up with. And we'll take a look at them next week. So are there any questions on step number 2? Okay. Step number 2 was the sequence chart, which I just showed you how to do. Okay, Jaden, Kendall, are you good? Okay, good. third step is to make a visual representation. So you should do a Wordle. So I'm going to take you to Wordle. You click on create.
Wordle.
I know you guys have done this before, so this should be pretty easy. So now I'm going to type in a bunch of words that have to do with Pecos Bill, the one that we just read together. So Pecos Bill, tornado, you could shout out anything.
Death Valley.
What else has to do with Pecos Bill that we just read? Death
Grand
Valley,
Canyon.
Grand Canyon, perfect.
Greatest Cowboy.
Yes, cowboy.
Staked, staked, um,
Staked
plane?
plains.
Impossible again.
That's right. California.
Fell off one thing once. Well, fell off once.
Good. Rodeo. Thank you, Kendall. Good job. So, I mean, that's kind of an individual thing. You type in what you want and you just click go and it's going to create it for you. It takes a minute. Then it's going to let you choose whatever font you want, what other colors you want, how you want your words to look, if you want them to go up, down, sideways, whatever. It does not matter to me at all. Okay, so this is their example. So I think the easiest way to get it onto the bottom of your sequence chart, because that's where you're going to be doing these. I could put this right here. Visual representations are just going to come at the bottom of your sequence chart. And I think the easiest way to do this is to take a screenshot by pushing Shift Command 4, and then you just drag that box out. Take a screenshot of it. Has anybody taken a screenshot before? Hopefully. There's a lot of different ways. You can drag and drop this picture onto your desktop as well to get it onto the bottom of the sequence chart. Going to insert an image, that's where you will select whatever image, or you can drag it right onto this, this thing right here, okay? Okay, so then I'll show you some more examples. Let's just pretend that I know how to draw and I drew this picture. So you can add that picture to the chart as well. I did not draw this. I found it on the internet, but we could pretend I drew it. Or you can go to Google and find an image that would make sense to add to your chart at the bottom. Okay? So are there any questions on assignment number 1? Okay. No. Kendall says no. Jaden, do you have any questions? Does that mean no? Okay. All right, good. Tyler, how are you? You good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to leave you a little bit early today so that you can get started working on this. So look in your email. Go ahead, Tyler.
Sorry, but I just want to ask one question.
Sure.
Take a screenshot.
Oh, okay. You push Shift Command 4 at the same time.
Okay.
And you come up with like a little thing that lets you drag or draw a box like this. Something that looks like that.
I have it.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, I will let you go about 10 minutes early so that you can get started on this. And I will see you Thursday. Okay? All right, bye. Give me a wave goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.